afternoon, my young Padawan. I suppose you're wondering why we traveled all the way to the Outer Rim territories just to stand here on Tatooine. This is part of your training. I brought you to Tatooine just for your training due to its harsh environment. A true Jedi Master will not find the easy way, but the hard way. Struggle breeds greatness. Now, I asked you to bring along a few things. And did you bring them? Wonderful. One of those items was your Jedi Handbook. Did you bring that? Excellent. Now as for your lightsaber, do you have that with you? Great. Well then, I suggest you get comfortable. Get focused. Maybe even do a little meditation before we begin. The lessons that we are going to be going over today will be the 3 pillars of the Jedi. Then we will move on to sense abilities, as well as alter abilities. We will then move on to lightsabers. Before you get too excited, the use of a lightsaber takes a lot of responsibility. But we will be going over lightsabers, their construction and use, as well as advanced lightsaber techniques. Do you have any questions before we begin? Very well. So, if you'll take your handbook out and turn to page 22, we'll start going over the 3 pillars of the Jedi. Always keep your Jedi handbook protected at all costs. There are too many valuable lessons within this book that if it were to fall in the wrong hands, it could be catastrophic. What are the 3 pillars of the Jedi? Do you know by any chance? Alright. Well, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. the three pillars of the Jedi: Force, knowledge, and self-discipline encompass all we do as Jedi and reinforce the precepts of the Jedi Code, because the Force is in all things. It is rightfully set as the first pillar. Now, of course, on your own time, you can read thoroughly about each pillar. But we have quite a bit to do, so we're just going to skim. Now, control abilities with the Force. Alright, you have telekinesis, or energy absorption, which is the ability to channel or diffuse potentially harmful radiation by using the benevolent energy of the forces. It can be as simple as shielding the skin from excessive sunlight, or as advanced as deflecting a blaster bolt with an outstretched palm. Karato Salva is a family of abilities that emphasizes the healing of self. When you draw on the Force to refresh yourself after, you are performing the most basic position of Karate. As a Jedi Knight, you will be expected to master this facet of control to heal your own injuries. Altus Sopor is the traditional term for the ability to increase one's focus on the Force. Now, do you see how important all three of these control abilities are when using the Force? It works as a unit, one unit. Next, we have the second pillar, the pillar of knowledge. Now, why is this important, you may ask? Because having a deep knowledge of the stars, the galaxies, the planets, as well as all of their inhabitants, helps strengthen you as a Jedi and helps strengthen the Force. The final pillar, self-discipline. Self-discipline is very important when using the Force. The Force is a very powerful thing. I myself have seen good men and women be overcome by the Force because they didn't have self-discipline or self-control, and therefore they used the Force with things like selfish things or greedy things, or even just plain control. and power. It's what we call the dark side. We've discussed the dark side before. And we'll discuss the dark side again in depth, more and more as we go. Now, the lightsaber. Now, if you take a look in your handbook, you'll see a diagram showing the layout and basic functions of the lightsaber. And of course the focusing crystal. But at the top we have the blade emitter. And we have the radiator casing segment, charging port, the activator, blade intensity control, the hand grip, and the power cell. Now, of course I've taught you already how to properly hold a lightsaber. But let me show you again, in case you forgot. Alright. Now, with your lightsaber out, follow my lead. Whichever hand you are control, for me, I'm right-handed. So, we place the right hand up towards the top. The left hand at the bottom of the lightsaber. That way, you have control over each and every move you make. Nice and smooth, see? Now before we start working on combat techniques, let's take a look at something more simpler. I have here a bag of crystals. Each one with their own special, unique abilities. Let's take a look. Just so you can get a sense of what these crystals feel like. Not just by your fingertips, but your soul and your inner being. Now, this is about the general size of each crystal. Like I said, each one has their own unique, special abilities. Here, take a look. And there's blue ones. They come in multiple colors. Pink. Purple. White. Even green. Which is what my lightsaber currently has. Yes, there is red as well. The Sith tend to lightsaber techniques. Now, there are 7 forms of combat. Let's start with Form 1. Alright. Form 1 velocity consists of 6 fluid moves. Starting with number 1. You're going to raise almost all the way above your head. Move 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Now, let us move on to advanced lightsaber techniques. I want to start with first. Let's start with some basic Form 7 drills. Now, we haven't really gone over drills all that much, but follow my lead. Alright. So, the first form, it's like so. Then, so, back, forward, control, track. Very good, very good. Now let's take some moves from certain forms and mix them together. Follow my lead. So, let's try that again. Very good, very good. You're a fast learner, my young Padawan. You're a very fast learner. Let's move on to our final lessons for the day. Sense abilities and alter abilities. And then afterwards, we can practice more with the lightsabers. Maybe even some one-on-one. Now, when using the Force, you have the ability to sense things, as well as alter things. Senses. Life detection is the most basic of the sense abilities. It is known in traditional high galactic as prima vitae. Through this ability, you can feel the presence of living things and track positions at long range. You may even discover that life signatures have unique flavors or colors. It's really interesting. Next we have post-cognition, or Vortrax. It's one of the few sensibilities that draws upon the unifying force. You are still extending your perceptions, but in this case, you are doing it within the flow of time itself. Projective telepathy combines your perceptual abilities of sense with the more direct discipline of alter, allowing you to actually put your voice into the mind of another. Like, for instance, it is quite overwhelming when that happens. I must agree. But now, of course, although very amusing and entertaining, these abilities are to never be used for anything other than good. Next, alter abilities. Alter abilities. Telekinesis is the most fundamental alter ability, forming the basis for the familiar force push and force pull. Your training should focus on both precision and control, but also on lifting great weights. The oxygen bottle is a fine exercise for precision, since it requires a Jedi to fill an empty bottle with oxygen molecules plucked one by one from the air. For control, visit the temple's Kudaka chamber, where the Munter stones are kept. Each stone weighs about several tons, so if you can lift those and place them down gently, then you will have control over the telekinesis. We may have to head there one of these times. I think the Force is one thing that you could benefit from getting more hands-on experience. Yes. Next, affect mind, commonly referred to as the Jedi mind trick, can override the impulses of an undisciplined brain. The ability should be a temporary means to accomplish a greater good. And like I said, it should never to be used for profit or gain. Alter environment describes a family of abilities that stand as evidence of the Force's ability to control the natural world. With this, a Jedi can summon a whirlwind or a lightning strike, or can direct hailstorms and crashing waves against the walls of an enemy fortification. The related ability of Plant Surge or Consular Sato is among my favorites. But by drawing on the living force, a Jedi can ensnare enemies in a nest of thorny vines and in conflict with minimal violence. There are also 3 advanced force techniques, and we will go over them at a later date, but they consist of the following: battle meditation, combustion, and the art of the small. Now, if you turn your handbook to page 96, I'd like to go over the Jedi trials with you. Now, you're far from ready for the Jedi trials, but I'd like to just give you a brief summary on what that consists of. Your apprenticeship. It's a temporary thing. At some point you will have learned all you can from your master, and one-on-one study will no longer benefit either of you. When that day comes, you must be prepared for the Jedi trials. The current battery of Jedi trials, instated after the relaxed standards of the last war, consists of 5 challenges. Trial of skill demonstrates a Jedi's competence with a lightsaber and the Force principles of control. Trial of courage establishes a Jedi's skill and fortitude in the face of danger and overwhelming odds. Trial of spirit tests a Jedi's ability to vanquish inner battles and emerge unscathed. Trial of the flesh determines a Jedi's capacity to overcome great pain. And trial of insight, which reveals a Jedi's aptitude for distinguishing reality from illusion through deceptive challenges. These are the things that you will be tested on once you complete your Jedi training. Are they easy? Absolutely not. Those 5 trials will be the most grueling, intense, painstaking trials that you'll ever go through in your entire life. Becoming a Jedi is no joke. It takes great discipline to master. Great courage, respect, dignity. And this you will all gain in time. But until then, I say yes, practice more with the lightsaber. Let's do some one-on-one battle. Very good, young Padawan. Your lightsaber techniques are getting better and better each time we practice. Well, I think that's enough training for today. Let's head inside. Maybe play a game, or even just rest. We have a long day tomorrow.